Hello and welcome to BIM tutorial, where we will show you how to manage specifications and generate customized BIM objects. The platform is completely cloud-based, so it works in any web browser. You can open it from Cloud website. We don't need to open your BIM software like ArchiCAD or Revit to start. After login, we end up on the dashboard where all our specifications are saved. With Cloud, you can create objects, structures, materials, and textures. Clicking on New Specification will show us all available categories. Each specification is bound to a category, which represents a product type. We will select the product type we want to specify, in our case luminaires under Electrical Equipment. To have a better overview of our work, we set the name of this luminaire type. You can also save the specification anytime. Now let's specify a few requirements for our product. First, we will choose a geometry type that fits our project's needs the best. This will also show us a list of geometry properties related to the selected geometry type. Requirements are represented by parameters in ArchiCAD and Revit. For geometry requirements that we don't need and leave inactive, default values will be used so the 3D model won't fall apart. Other unchecked requirements that represent the product's properties won't be used at all. Let's create our first BIM object. To add the luminaire to our BIM model, we need a working link to ArchiCAD or Revit. This is maintained by our plugins, which are also available for free. You can download installers directly from our website. After installation, plugins run automatically, so you don't need to activate them. You can also later open Cloud by clicking the icon in the Add-ins tab. Let's try to insert the luminaire again. Now the connection is live and you can see a confirmation table, where you can choose what will happen in your BIM model. We will go with the Create New tab to create a new luminaire type. We recommend keeping the default Revit family name to keep the consistency of RFA files in your projects. Now we generated a new BIM object which was automatically inserted into our BIM model. You can see that only the selected requirements and default geometry values were used. Now let's change the height and the pendant cord length and update the selected luminaire. The confirmation table knows we have a luminaire selected in Revit, so it gives us the Update Selection tab automatically. We can see that the object's parameter values were updated and the geometry changed its dimensions accordingly. Let's place a couple of our new luminaires around the living area. We can work with just one instance or multiple instances of the same type. We will select all instances in the view as we want to continue specifying this type further. Now we are satisfied with our design, and it is time to find a corresponding real product. To open the product database, we switch to the Real Product tab. Our requirements now work as filters so we can see only relevant products. As the project develops, we can keep adding and adjusting requirements and use them both as filters and as parameters in our BIM model. Let's set two more requirements. Initial light flux to a maximum of 960 lumens and dolly as the dimming type option. Now there are only two products that fulfill our requirements. After clicking on the product card, we can see in detail all of its properties. We like this one, so we can assign it to our specification. You can see that our requirements stay untouched and the button Insert to BIM Model is purple. That means we can insert the product into our project instead of the requirements. In the confirmation table, the best option for us now is the Replace Selection tab. Since we didn't change the geometry type and we are using the same Revit family, we just created a new type. The default type name is the name of the assigned product. Now we created a new luminaire type and replaced the selected instances with it. The original luminaire type with our requirements is still in our project and can be used. All the product properties were inserted into the BIM model. Now let's say the conditions of our project changed and we need to adjust our requirements. If the product properties no longer match our requirements, we are notified by coloring the parameter name in red. In this case, it is probably needed to change the product for another one. By clicking the X button on the products card, we simply unassign the product and choose another one that matches our new requirements. With a few clicks, you can easily change the application's language. Let's go to Settings and change the language to German, for instance. As you see, the application environment is not the only thing that is translated. Parameters, their values, product descriptions, and links are in the German language too. Let's replace the selected luminaire with the translated one. Inserted parameters and their values in our luminaire are now in German as well. In your Revit project, you probably have your own set of shared parameters that you want bimproject.cloud to use. You can achieve that by setting up the parameter mapping feature. In a window specified and inserted with bimproject.cloud, default bimproject.cloud parameter names and parameter IDs are used. To change that, we open Settings and Integrations. By clicking on New Set, we are configuring rules for the parameter mapping. We will be pairing bimproject.cloud parameters with your project's shared parameters, so you have to upload the shared parameter file first. On the right side, we can see all shared parameters from the uploaded file in their categories. If you wish this parameter to be filled with a value from bimproject.cloud parameter, just select which one to use from the list in the left column. Here we want to use the parameter My Glazing Type instead of the bimproject.cloud glazing type, and My Opening Type instead of Opening Type 1. After we save the set, we need to make sure that it is active. You can create as many sets as you need. Now let's go back to our window specification and replace the current window in a project with a new family. Our project shared parameters have now been used instead of the default ones. In the Required Properties tab, we will set our requirements, such as fire rating. We can add more layers, where each layer is represented by a specification of a material type category. We can set up each of the layers the same way as any other category, which is a generic requirement or a real product. In the product detail, we can also find all the documents and links if we need more information. Once we have found our desired product, we can assign it to the layer. We can also duplicate and move the layers around by dragging them. Now let's insert this wall into our Revit project. In the confirmation table, we will keep the Create New option, as we want to create a brand new type of wall. Let's place the wall where we need it. We can see that the new type includes our requested properties as parameters. Let's select our wall instances, so we can adjust them further. We will add a new requirement for the acoustic rating. Since we have wall instances selected in Revit, the Update option is available. The Update function changes parameters in our selected walls. In a later stage of design, we will need to change to a certified structure. We can use the brand filter to filter out citrus products only. The database of certified structures is automatically filtered by our requirements that we specified before. Let's assign this wall to our specification. We can also take a look at the layers of the wall, which will be created in our project. Now let's replace selected walls in the project. As you can see, both instances of the wall were replaced by the real structure, and the parameters now represent the product properties instead of our requirements. We have a long pipeline for adding new products and features, but if you need some of those for your projects fast, just let us know through the Help menu. Just click on the desired requirement and fill out the form. If you leave us your contact, we will get back to you after fulfilling your request, which we do as soon as possible.